It's a Friday, we finally made it. I can't believe I get to see your face. You've been working, I've been waiting to pick you up and take you from this place. Love on the weekend, love on the weekend, like only we can, like only we can. Love on the weekend, love on the weekend. I'm coming up and I'm loving every minute of it. You be the DJ, I'll be the driver. You put your feet up in the getaway car. I'm flying fast like a wanted man. I want you, baby, like you can't understand. Oh, love on the weekend, love on the weekend. We found a message in a bottle we were drinking. Love on the weekend, love on the weekend. I hate your guts, cause I'm loving every minute of it. I gotta leave ya, it's gonna hurt me. My clothes are dirty and my friends are getting worried. Down there below us, under the clouds, baby, take my hand and pull me down, 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 down. And I'll be dreaming of the next time we can go into another serotonin overflow. Love on the weekend, love on the weekend. I'm busted up, but I'm loving every minute of it. Love on the weekend, love on the weekend. I'm looking forward to love, I'm looking forward to love on the weekend. Love on the weekend.
Ashton, I haven't streamed much on Twitch, but we've got one viewer. We're going to give this a shot.
You already have it. Oh man, they're already in it.
Now we got one.
Well, that's cool. I guess. I'm surprised that even someone sits in there. Just until there's more.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Twitch. To be honest.
I don't either. I just kind of started fucking with it a little bit.
Well, that's good.
I mostly-
Twitch is good. It's really good.
I-
Streaming platform, right?
Well, I mean, I mostly only follow chess people, but it seems like YouTube is kind of, I think YouTube has a live streaming option also, but Twitch seems to be where more interactive, like improvisational stuff thrives, whereas YouTube is more planned, you can retake. But we're going to give it a shot. And I've anticipated I'll probably end up getting censored or banned eventually on YouTube, so it's good to have other options. But capitalism is a great thing. Me and Ashton were talking about while we walk my dog Nova. Hey Nova, say hi to the camera, babe. Hey you, babe. Hey, it's Nova Core. Hey, does she want dinner, babe? You wanna come on out? Come on out, have dinner. Let's go. It's dinner time for her. We'll get Nova dinner, then we'll start talking some shit. But capitalism's a great thing. Like, I worked in corporate America, and I think it can be taken too far, but I am a capitalist. And what it comes down to, like, my mom's not a huge fan of some of the things I say on stream. My mom's a little bit conservative, Ashton. A lovely person. Yeah, she would have been okay had I just stayed.
Progressive in terms of like her generation in the location she was raised in.
Yep.
Usually people her age are actually way more conservative than her age.
Yeah, my mom's a fantastic mom.
By our standards, though, she's definitely conservative.
Yeah. Well, she's just like most people. She doesn't understand context, I don't think. I think she'd be okay if I just were wrapped in bubble wrap and never tried anything, got my heart broke, and was miserable in a corporate job because she loves me. It's not a bad thing. Her intentions are good. But anyone who's successful had to say, fuck this, I'm giving it a shot. And I was living in a $260,000 brand new home when COVID hit in 2020, and saw the writing on the wall. Through a really complicated turn of events, I ended up getting into chess and streaming. And I'm much happier now. I live in a 450 square foot studio. I'll give you a tour. It's right near the chess club, which makes me happy. There's outside. Here's inside. That's how studios work. There's your tour. There's my dog. There's my guitar. There's my chess set. That's all I need to be happy dating. Let's get this shit set up. Ash, come introduce yourself real quick. Do you want anything to drink?
Let's see.
I can get it.
Yeah, I better grab some.
I can grab you something while you introduce yourself if you want.
Alright. I just need to throw
What is today? Today Wednesday?
Yes.
I started streaming at like 2 a.m. to avoid competing with the people who have earned rights to the primetime slots, but we'll see if we can steal some of their viewers.
Where am I sitting? This one?
Either of them. I don't give a shit.
Oh,
The Bowie feels really comfortable. I previously, before I embarked on this journey, which has been a fun one.
Slightly shorter because I'm a short.
That's cool. I mean, you can lower this, but I worked in corporate America, so I had money saved. I bought silly toys like this, which are actually fabulous for your back. And eventually, once I'm bigger, I'd like to finance my chess addiction by advertising stuff like this. Like, I was hit by a drunk driver in, would have been 2016, celebrating the end of my internship. His name was Elmer.
I'm calling Theo real quick.
Yeah, you're good, man. Bring her on stream if you want. I don't give a shit.
Just to let her know that I'm just hopping on this with
Okay.
you, so she ain't thinking I'm avoiding.
Tell her to join. I'll send her the link. We need viewers. But I was hit by a drunk driver, and of course I was like 21 at the time. I was sober, obviously.
Hey, yeah. Just letting you know, I'm
Because I'm a good little boy. I don't do anything wrong.
Me and Dayton are just chilling, and I'm gonna hop on this Twitch stream with him. Dayton was like, "Hey, you can get an invite and hop on too." you'd have to join Twitch.
Yeah, I need her to be a viewer. It's a numbers game.
I'm gonna tell Ian too, because he's calling me right now.
Yeah, create 10 separate accounts each
Let me
week.
answer this, okay?
Create
We're
10.
just trying to get more people to join this thing. You know?
Well, don't say that. Then it looks like we're cheating.
I'm not going to my thing. What are you talking about?
Anyway, I was hit by a drunk driver. It hurt my back, but I was young, so I just fought through it. Then a year later, I couldn't stand up straight, so I went to a chiropractor.
She's like, if you want to tomorrow.
That's why I bought this Bowie stool. It's fantastic for your back if you also suffer from back pain or remote work, sitting too long. This helps you keep a good posture and is money well spent.
But it's all good though. I mean, I'm not tripping.
Because what's all the money in the world if your back hurts and you can't pick up your kids?
No, that was what I told you about. It was a scheduled pop-up a while back with Greenlight. But yeah, but I had to reschedule because the pop-up was just weird because I had to remember it was supposed to be on the 30th, but I had to cancel it and move it up a week. And she already had 2 companies in there doing pop-ups, and they don't have the showroom floor space to have 3 pop-up tables. So
part of my streaming
I
career
well,
is
if I just come in and you drop in,
motivated by
so
me losing a friend to
what I
suicide.
basically
So I'm a mental health
I made up
advocate.
my mind because the weather-
Ash, we're live, man.
It's gonna be-
We're live. If you want, if you want to be, just let me know. I'm ready.
But the weather is gonna be.
So mental health best practices are my top priority.
So I'm not, I'm not gonna go drive and go kill myself. So what
Now,
I was gonna do is-
some mental health professionals wouldn't agree with my approaches, nor would my family.
Pop-ups.
But not worrying is more important than anything. So if you're gonna drink, I suggest Jack Daniels. And to ensure your energy stays high, I recommend Adderall. If you're struggling through the Adderall shortage as well, Ritalin is fine. But don't worry about anything. Cheers.
You thought who was going to bed?
Oh, Dayton. A lot of people who committed suicide took your approach to life. Don't worry, be happy. Mac Miller's a great example, and I'm a huge Mac Miller fan.
Oh, my shower was.
But I'm not Mac Miller.
A while ago. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember how many hours.
So don't judge me for my life approaches, and I won't judge you.
'Cause it could get ugly
No, yeah, well,
before it gets beautiful. Please, baby.
in my head earlier before I spoke to you.
All right, we're waiting on my cousin Ashton to join us.
The plan was gonna, go and actually do another drop.
I'm gonna keep playing music until he's ready.
But me and Nate ended up going on a long walk.
We went on a long walk. It was really long.
And then by that time, it was already late to where it's like, who the hell? Like, I'm not gonna order pizza for him. Whenever the store's about to, get ready to close, and there's not.
This is my one viewer.
There.
Show
I was
yourself.
like, you know what? I could go meet him in the morning. That like, or it depends. I could do the first location, the one that needs the reorder.
Any streamer could buy bots for fake viewers, but that's not me. This is a real human being. I have one viewer, and I want to interact with you.
Pizza, you know what I mean? Rather than breakfast.
All right, I'm gonna keep playing music till you're ready, man.
That's okay. Yeah, me and Dayton are just chilling. We're about to hop on this thing with him and start shooting shit. So,
No, we're gonna shoot some shit.
all right, love you.
What is this shit?
Well, I'll just.
That's not the one I need.
We got dates in the morning. That's how we get you out.
Where's my correct chords? That'll be fine.
You don't have to work though, do you? Or do you?
Damn it.
Probably not.
Chordify lyrics. Let's see if
You
that
don't need
works.
to, though, if it's bad.
There we go. This is a fun song. This is a
Okay.
really fun song.
All right.
All right, one more song, Ashton.
Actually, I haven't even gotten connected to your Wi-Fi yet on my phone. But we can't.
Are you
see
ready?
that.
I'm saying my Miller now, man.
Well, actually, let me call you and tell him to get on a Twitch stream. I think he has.
You won't be able to like.
Thank you. Or maybe I should buy you another round.
Oh, but he won't be able to talk.
'Cause you're here and I swear that I'm here, but I'm there. It's getting harder to hunt me down. Way to a place with a lake, such a great view. Leave the bank up 100,000. Baby, but hey, once I build it, I might just break you down. All I ever needed was somebody with some reason who could keep me sane. Ever since I can remember, I've been keeping it together, but I'm feeling strange. Get away with it, ain't really safe, and it don't seem right. So it's new, you get used to the bullshit, and screws they go missing. It's likely they might be, but you remind me that I need to stay in line. You damn well on a great design. And you, despite being an only child, need more of a family round. Let's turn these jeans into hand me down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. Yeah, well, I'm just being honest, my conscience ain't doing bad. Cause I try to minus the problems that I attract. And at the time, the voices in the back of my head burn until the tires flat and burn until the fire's crack up.
Just let Matt get it.
Ian said you can send him a link if you want to.
Don't just Google my name and Twitch. Wait, are you wanting to get him on the stream? Because I can't. I don't know if I can do
No, I
that.
mean, I told him that.
Just to tune in.
Well, no, that's what I said. I said I'm pretty sure you can't really talk to us directly, but I said you can hop on the stream and listen to us.
Yeah, you can do that.
They don't have it set up yet to where you can make someone go on and join Twitch.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can do. I don't know if I can do it from unless he has a Twitch channel of his own, and I don't think I can do it from my iPhone though.
That makes sense.
Yeah, man, I don't fuck with Twitch a whole lot.
Because in my opinion, it's like if they don't have that feature,
No, they
would be
certainly do.
crappy.
Yeah, no, they're trying to compete with YouTube. They definitely do.
Yeah.
And like we talked about, that's what I love about capitalism. Am I worried about YouTube banning or censoring my channel? Yeah, I say some shit. But they don't want to piss off creators.
Well, and plus they would wait till an audience size gets pretty big, and then they'll lay the hammer. Like,
Why would they do that? Why would they do that?
What do you mean?
Well, because once I have a bigger audience, I have more negotiating power. Why would they hammer me then?
Because it's still a good way to make sure they hit you with a strike, and then they go, look at all this that you can lose. Like if you're just some person that only has a few, maybe only 1,000 or 2,000 maybe followers. I just feel like they don't even want to give you that attention. Also because
YouTube?
you can report on it, and it helps people's viewership sometimes whenever YouTube does that shit.
Do you mean they censor and try to censor the channel?
Mm-hmm.
Well, just fucking start
I'm not
another one and
saying
do it better.
Helps them. It doesn't help them in the sense of the algorithm,
Mhm.
but it does help them make it seem like YouTube's doing a crappy thing. You know what I mean? If they're just censoring people for no reason.
Well, yeah, but they don't want to. I mean, they want to make money, so they don't want to piss creators off. The more people, the better.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they would so Joe Rogan, for example, these big guys, they're obviously not gonna get rid of that business completely, but that's why they use their subjective strike system, because then they can go, oh, we hit you with a strike, you better be a good boy. It's kind of just a way of saying, hey, you don't need to talk about this, because Google,
Good point.
all the political dollars that go into social media and how much even just I would hate to see how much super PAC money and political donations that Google and all these companies give out every year.
That's true.
But they also do understand that people like Joe Rogan, though, they need. But actually, YouTube doesn't anymore because of the Spotify deal. But
And that's a good point, because that's why I watched the Mr. Beast video, which I'm a big Mr. Beast fan, after listening to Jimmy's backstory, which is, it's not algorithms. You're not trying to impress the algorithms to get views and suggestions from YouTube. You just got to make shit that people like. And if you do that, that's negotiating power. Because if you leave, just like Joe Rogan, if he says fuck YouTube, that's just a little chink in their armor, but that can start a lot of creators saying, okay, well, we don't want to get banned, so if we go stream on Twitch, you're not going to block us, because you don't want to go out of business to Twitch. Exactly. Which is why I say a lot of the shit I say. Because if anyone wants to go to court, I mean, that'll be just like the Andrew Tate model. I respect Andrew Tate in some ways, but he thrives on that attention. So if anyone wants to take me to court, I'll sit there and smile. Because one, I don't have a lot to take right now, and two, I'll use the footage to build my TikTok channel. I used to be nice, didn't I? I was a nice kid growing up.
very nice. You'd almost be shocked. This guy's went straight manic on everybody, huh?
And that's a good word. I love the word manic, because like my mom still probably thinks I'm manic, and I might be. The Mayo Clinic thought I was type 2 bipolar. But look at all the shit that matters in the world and anyone to succeed. Elon Musk, pretty manic. Steve Harvey just said, fuck all this, I'm going to go start doing stand-up comedy. He's worth what? What's he worth? A couple $100 million?
Oh, yeah, please. Yeah.
Now, that's a manic episode. But my point is, especially with mental health and the crisis, we were talking about, me and Ashton, we want to make money. We have selfish motives. But we do have some morals. And we need to, as a society, differentiate between a manic episode, someone who's lost their minds, versus someone who says, I don't have a lot of responsibilities right now, and I have these passions, these ideas, I want to give it a shot.
Yeah.
It's an important difference. And that's probably a good segue into letting Ashton kind of discuss what he does, his industry, and why he's become passionate about it. You go ahead.
Yeah, so So just to give you a little bit of a brief background, I grew up in southern Missouri in the Ozarks in a town called Salem, Missouri. And
As did I.
yeah, Dayton did too. And then when he was young, he ended up moving to Springfield or Nixa first.
How old were you when I moved? You're 3 years older than me.
Yeah, I was like
I was 7, so
9,
you'd be 10.
9 or 10. Yeah.
So, real quick, sorry to interrupt. So me, Ashton, I'm an only child. My mom got diabetes when she had me, so we couldn't have another kid. They wanted to. And his brother, my cousin Andrew, who we love dearly, we're all supposed to be born on March 27th.
Yeah.
That was our due date, all three of us.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And what's Cashton's birthday? Which is Andrew's, my cousin, his brother's son.
Oh, jeez, don't hit me with that.
Wasn't it
I feel
March?
bad now.
Wasn't it March though? I thought his due date was close to that ballpark.
It might have been. I think it's definitely close. I think it was early March.
Yeah, because I remember thinking like, what if we all were supposed to have been born on like the same day, but it ended up Ashton's birthday is the 19th, and then Andrew's is the 27th. But we were all three of us supposed to have been born on the 27th. I was just born early because of my mom's diabetes. There were risks.
Yeah.
But we all grew up in a small town in southwest Missouri named Salem. Please continue.
Yeah. And, after living there for a long time, which the town is literally a melting pot, of course, I didn't make the best decisions along the way, and which, prolonged my stay. But I later, when I was around 25, 26 years old, I believe, I moved to St. Joseph, Missouri, and then I worked for the Department of Corrections for 3 years and like 2 months, and actually just got a little bit of class action money because they were screwing us over on overtime.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got like $856 or something like that, and then in February, I'm supposed to get another payment. I think it's supposed to be slightly more if I'm not
What did
mistaken.
they do?
So basically, whenever you worked at the prison, like let's say I worked a 3 to 11 shift in AdSeg, they required that all the staff members be there. They wanted us there at like 2:45.
Okay.
So you could check in and do all that stuff, but I mean, you're technically not being paid for it.
Right.
They were doing like stuff like that. If I remember correctly, if it's not a big deal if I mischaracterize the situation, I apologize. The class action lawsuit lasted for multiple years. Like whenever I
just say in my opinion,
money, I was surprised. Yeah,
I'll put this title as in my opinion, featuring my cousin Ashton.
Yeah.
And then if you say in my opinion, I'm serious. It makes it much harder to sue.
I'm pretty sure that I'm really close to being 100% right. I believe. I just know that there's other details in the lawsuit. It wasn't just that one singular type of thing. It had something to do with like overtime and shit like that. And yeah, so if you worked at the DOC from April of 2007 to all the way to April of 2000 and I can't remember 22 or whatever it was.
I love it.
Yeah, it'd be 2022 because it went to this year. You got a little bit of a settlement. Yeah, it probably wasn't what it should have been, but hey, it's something at least. At least the man had to pay. I just think that some firm had to fucking.
It's kind of more like that. It's because going back, during my senior year of college is when you started working at the prison, right? Because you were 25, 26?
Yeah, 25, I think.
So around that time, I remember having a conversation during my senior year of college. I had internships with Walmart Corporate, and of course, being a naive kid, I was like, this is a great thing. Walmart does a lot of good for the world, and they do. My family works for Walmart, my aunt and mom. But I was talking to Ashton, and we talked about making the man richer and stuff, and I remember thinking I didn't see the big picture, and now I went and worked in corporate America, and now every time something like that happens, I root against the big dog. So when you say make the man rich, anyone that's working in corporate America, I have a friend, I'll call him Matt because that's his name, and he got a job at Walmart Corporate as a buyer, and he's making good money, and he was posting on social media, probably to impress girls because it makes good money. And I'm like, here's some cinnamon shirt. And I told him on Snapchat, I'm like, hey man, I support you, that's great, you get good things, but don't ever for a second, working at Walmart Corporate, think that you're contributing any good for the world. Go make the Walton family more money and get your experience, then get out. And that's fine. But I don't like when people are like, I'm contributing good.
And that's literally what led me to leave my job, even, of course.
That's what motivated it?
Yeah, I mean, well, in a similar way. Obviously, yours is the private sector, but mine, in a way, really worked like that, too, because it was just all a very corrupt system. They, more than half the officers were bringing dope into the camp. You know it, just because during COVID, there was no visitation allowed, so it wasn't like visitors were able to sneak drugs into the facility. Of course, they have other services like what do they call it, MoDOT, and they'll let a bus full of, or not a bus full, but like a van full, not a bus full, that'd be bad, but like a van full of inmates go out and do shit in the community or whatever, and do stuff on the roads and whatnot. And so I mean, it was just really crazy, and it was mayhem. I mean, imagine COVID-19 just spreading through that prison like wildfire. You getting sick off the higher ups, like the captains, wardens. They don't care about your well-being. Like there for a while when COVID was first spreading, they didn't even give us any emergency gear yet. Like, we didn't have like good mask, like the N95 mask. We didn't have like the bubble jumpsuit things to search the cells, so you were literally having to go, like an inmate would get locked up on the hill, and then you would have to go and then pack their stuff for them. But you're like, dude, no one even knows anything about this virus yet, and you're throwing me in here with no safety equipment to back up this type of stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of unethical things going on, also toward the inmates in particular, more so. The thing where they really fucked the officers is they worked us like dogs.
Right.
Because, lots of people were getting sick, and they knew that they could get out of work for 5 days, and plus they were already understaffed as is. So a lot of people used it as time to get off. Shit, I did. I got FMLA, and I did it. I mean, I really think I deserved it, though, because I had a little bit of mental health issues, and I worked in AdSeg for, like 2.5 years, something like that. And then
before COVID. Even before COVID, you worked for 2 years.
Yeah, at least, yeah. Yeah, I believe so. And after that happened, what happened is I would work in AdSeg, and when you're already in an environment like that, I worked on third shift. Which is 3 to 11 p.m. 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. And it's a really understaffed shift too, and everything's seniority based off how you bid. So I was also having to work doubles, like sometimes a couple times a week, or at least 12 hours. I was working, 50 to 55 hours a week, and when you're in AdSeg the whole time, it's really exhausting. But you do your damn job every day, and you do it well. And people like me, I respect the inmates. I always try to do my best to look at things in a rational manner. And really, I was definitely a lot more progressive than the Bible Belt correctional officers that I worked with. But then later on, which thankfully, I bid to the visiting room, but like I said, COVID came around and the visiting room got closed. So it gave the institution a legal way, not legal, it's because it's policy, but if you violate policy, obviously, there could be grounds for lawsuits and things of that nature if you were retaliating against me and throwing me out of my bid spot. But since the visiting room closed, I got reassigned to a utility officer.
Okay.
So, and after I reported that captain's son, Trevor Brownlee is the sergeant's name, the dad's name is, I can't remember dipshit dad's first name, but his last name's fucking Brownlee. But he's a fat dipshit, but this kid was a 19-year-old kid.
In Ashton's opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Saves your ass.
Yes, it does. And, but anyway, this guy.
In my opinion, based on evidence.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a viewer. You fuck, Doc.
But yeah.
Way to name drop. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, but yeah, this guy though, there was one day I was working in AdSeg and I was working over, and I worked 3 to 11, and it being overtime and shit, I was, just doing my thing in the wings, and I was getting ready to leave at around 11 o'clock, and it really pissed me off because whenever you witness the use of force, you have to then stay over and do paperwork, and this night I was going to be able to get out of there, but I ended up working like 3 hours of overtime because then all sorts of shit started popping off. But there were these.
So he mistreated an inmate.
Yes,
and then you were in a situation where you reported it.
Yeah, but okay. But to tell you the specifics of it because it was fucked up. Basically there was these 2 inmates, and actually I'm pretty sure that I could. Pretty sure I still remember them this day, but I'm not going to say them just out of respect. But these guys were in the same cell, and the crazy thing is they were half brothers.
Okay.
But they got into a dispute about something that had been eaten in the cell, and whenever you're caged up like an animal, these guys are literally fighting over food like dogs, which that literally shows you what the conditions are in prisons. I mean, that's very unethical. I mean, people are literally fighting over food like, caged animals. And these guys, they had a dispute, so one of the inmates politely was able to flag down Sergeant Brownlee to come to the offender's cell. And then when he did, the inmate was like, "Hey, I need to check out of the cell. I'm in fear for my life." And in this profession, when those are literally considered the magic words, is what we call them. Like if you say you're in fear of your life, or I'm in danger, the policy clearly states that you are to restrain both offenders. Use your straps, hook them to the door, make sure they can't pull the cuffs in the cell and start beating the shit out of the other guy with them. But you cuff them both up, you pull them out, you take the property out, you search them, you do all these things, and you search the property in the cell. And, but what happened is the sergeant just started his shift. He didn't work on the same shift as me. He worked 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So
this is the warden's son.
Yeah. Or no, not the warden, the captain.
Which reports to the warden?
Yes, yeah, which is your next person up and right under the.
So he's got
deputy warrants.
He's got some rank.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there's the deputy warden, and then right under the deputy warden, you got your captains.
So how many deputy wardens are there?
There's the one head warden, and then they have usually just one deputy warden.
And then how many captains report to the deputy warden?
And then they have a major, and then after major they have a captain.
So warden, deputy, major.
Yeah, warden, deputy warden, major, captain.
Then how many captains are there?
4, usually.
And then so there are 4. So that's pretty.
Yeah, 4.
And so how many? So then from the captain to you, what ranks are between the captain and you?
There is then lieutenant,
So
sergeant,
captain, lieutenant, sergeant,
and then CO1.
CO1.
So sergeant is technically a lieutenant is like a CO3 or whatever, and
Okay.
then sergeant CO2, CO1.
And you were what?
A CO1.
So you were 3 below.
Yeah, so way down the pole.
You were 3 below the person at your level's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he was powerful, and he obviously was, the ship commander on my fucking ship too, which also shows that I'm generally for the most part I'm gonna try to do the right thing whenever I see something this out of line. But what ended up happening was the inmates wanted to get out of the cell, and then Brownlee said, "Fuck you, I ain't got time for this shit tonight." And then he walked off, and they're about to get in a fucking fight. You know what I mean? So the dude
Are they cuffed in there? They're not cuffed.
They're not. No one's cuffed because the sergeant wouldn't. They refused to let him out. Because then you're supposed to pull him out and then let him change cells so they can get to safety. But the sergeant said, "Fuck you," and kept walking, basically. And he said, "I'm not playing your games tonight." So the inmate started kicking the door. Officer walks back. He goes, "Man, let me out of here, man."
Which he's legally required to address that problem.
Yes. He's like, "You have to let me out of here, dude."
Yeah.
And then he said, "Fuck you, no I don't." And then what happened was, dude started kicking the door again, and then he goes, "Don't kick the door. Stop kicking the door." And then the inmate said, "Fuck you," and kicked the door a couple times. And then, so what he did was he dropped the food port, and then he OC sprayed both of them. And for no reason.
What's OC?
Pepper spray, basically.
You pepper sprayed him.
Yeah, and it's fucking, it'll cook you. But then what really ended up happening after that is the worst part. So he sprayed him. Yeah, he could justify that, and just use his word versus their word. But people like me also kind of help that part.
Right.
But that's what he was planning on doing. But guess what he did, which can be verified on camera, and this is where he shot himself in the foot. And rather than them firing Sergeant Brownlee, they ended up basically getting him to resign. Strong-armed him into resigning, which pissed me off.
Basically tap on the shoulder, say, "Hey, you're fucked if you don't, so you better."
You gotta resign, yes. And so basically after he sprayed him, they went and they took him downstairs, and after they were able to extract him from the cell, they handcuffed him to the benches, and they're fucking sitting there, eyes burning, like cuffed to a chair. You can't rub your eyes, can't do nothing. And and basically what happens is they're like, dude, can you get a nurse up here? And then technically, you shouldn't even have to do that because before you spray someone, usually, but this was technically a spontaneous use of force, so you don't have to call for authorization. But typically, if it's a planned use of force, you call the nurse and make sure that they don't have any bad allergies to OC spray.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening was he basically refused to give them medical treatment. He wouldn't call the nurse to go check them, and policy states that after OC is applied, you are supposed to give them medical attention.
So sorry to interrupt. So in order to justify the spray without notifying the nurse and checking with her, you would have to basically prove you were threatened.
Yeah, in some sort of way.
And he was not.
Yeah, wasn't threatened at all. Which you can technically spray someone for kicking your door really hard because they call it tampering with a locking mechanism, because you kick a door hard enough, many enough times, they've actually had doors malfunction and fly open. But in this case, obviously the reason they hit the door is because the guy was breaking the rules, you know? So that's the fucked up part. But anyway, let's get to the better part, the more positive part. But that's just my background a little bit. But I ended up, after I quit that job, I went unemployed for like 4 months. The old lady was mad at me because I pulled my DOC retirement. Yeah, FIO.
Yeah, you were in FIO.
Yeah, and I pulled my DOC retirement, and then you also get state deferred comp that you can pull out. So I was like, you know what? I got like $6,000, whatever bullshit. You know, I can chill for a little bit because my mental health, I felt, was fucked. I was so stressed out, wasn't sleeping good. But then I ended up getting a job
because of why?
Prison stuff. Just the prison
because the moral dilemma of you basically follow policy because you have to report that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But your mental health was because you reported what you're supposed to report, and it led to repercussions.
Yeah, and they retaliated against me. They wouldn't let me work in my bid spot, and then since the visiting room closed, rather than being cool with me, because I'd been there for 3 years, and at this prison, 3 years is good seniority there. Actually, most people quit after a year. The turnover rates are insane. They could have put me in 4 house, 6 house, 8 house.
Anything to drink? You good?
I'm good. I got one drink. But yeah, I could have went to a house that was more chill, and they knew that. And I also worked 10-hour shifts, 4 days a week. So that's why I got FMLA.
And it was a level 4?
A level 5. It was a max. Half max.
It was a level 5?
Mm-hmm.
Which explained, because obviously, like...
So originally...
So one thing real quick, Ashton. So this, we have one viewer who's kind of being a fucking asshole. Yeah, fuck, dog. Way to name drop. Squirrely Dan 66. But thank you for joining. So explain level 5 for anyone who's never been in prison.
Way to name drop. Like, what are you going to do? Go look him up and suck his dick?
If you suck it real good, he might...
I mean, what a fucking retard! Like, who the hell would even take the time to fucking say that in the chat?
I'm pretty small on Twitch right now, so Ashton doesn't mean that. Squirrely Dan 66, thank you for the viewership, but please explain what a level 5 prison is, and compare it to possibly other lower levels.
Oh, level 5 prison is the worst. So at Crossroads, they had a riot actually, and my prison originally was a medium level security prison, and by the way, dude, I'm just busting your balls. So I hope you didn't get offended.
Your viewership is valued.
But yeah, so it was a level 5 maximum security. It ended up being a half medium, half maximum because there was a riot across the street. You can actually look it up.
Essentially, it's the most dangerous.
Yeah, it's called, the prison that had the riot was called Crossroads, and it was in Cameron, Missouri. You can look it up. It was a horrible.
Say thank you to Squirrely Dan 66. He says Ashton, you're great. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Squirrely Dan 66. Okay.
But yeah, so basically, hold on, where was I at? But yeah, it became a maximum because literally all the worst inmates, and these people, a lot of like all the inmates, they come from, like most of this camp came from the Casey area. Of course, you see guys from St. Louis and shit there. So a lot of guys are pretty hard, but not actually a lot of the time. I met maximum security inmates for the most part that were easier to deal with because they accepted their time and their fate. So they're not trying to go to war with people every day because they got to live there, for the rest of their life. Some of them, and then some for 10 plus years. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times they give you less trouble. But the problem is when it pops. Like they get violent. So they're really chill for the most part, but then when it erupts, it erupts. But anyway...
So sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
What do you have to do? So let's say a level 4 versus level 5. What do you have to do to be in a level 5 instead of level 4?
Well, really, they kind of do it like it's kind of. I mean, I haven't done it. I haven't just because I'm not fresh with it.
What crime qualifies to put you in a level 5?
But yeah, if you go to like just your minimum security prison, a lot of times it's going to
which is level 1.
Yeah, which is usually going to be an inmate that's done time like 6-7 years, but it wasn't like a harsh crime.
Right.
He could have maybe got 4 or 5 years for theft of $10,000 or more. Got 4 years in prison, and then he was at a medium. And then as usually they use minimums when they're kicking you out. They'll put you there for your last year, because you behaved well, and they want you to go to a place that is less violent, so you're more likely to go home.
Squirrely Dan 66, is that Ian? Is Ian Squirrely Dan 66? He said
probably.
He said the chat says he should know who this is. Is that Squirrely Dan 66?
He's done it. Yeah, I think it is, but I didn't know because I didn't think.
Well, that hurts
I didn't think anything got sent to you, but I guess you said all you
I guess
he
said yeah. I mean, you could Google dating card Twitch and it would come up.
Of course you would say that shit, you dickhead.
Ian, please keep interacting and share this with your friends. I'm not biased. I just need views. I want to play chess.
But yeah, I'm literally sitting here talking to someone that knows my fucking background.
It's a stacked deck.
That's why, dude. Twitch needs to make it to where we can interact with them too. Like
you can interact.
A multiple stream, not just.
Well, we can. We'd have to get. I mean, I have Twitch Studio. I just haven't fucked with it to learn it, but we could do that.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Because shit.
So, hey, Ian, send this link to all your friends.
Actually, I can call.
They'll send it to your friends. Let's get fucking 1,000, 2,000 viewers on here. We'll split the profits. How about that? I don't really know how Twitch makes money.
What's up, fuck boy? Yeah, dude, I'm over here explaining my background to someone that knows it. Well, I didn't know because I had planned on sending it to you, but I thought that you couldn't really interact with us anyway. So I was like, well, fuck, it kind of sucks for Ian. So
yeah, I haven't advertised my Twitch much, so I only have 8 followers. Hey, do you mind to ask Ian to follow me so I have 9?
Yeah, Ian, follow.